Imagine you're driving home after a long day. Traffic is steady. The radio hums quietly in the background. Your mind is finally beginning to slow. Then, a silver SUV suddenly cuts across 3 lanes of traffic. Its tires screech. You slam on your brakes. The car misses your front bumper by inches. For a moment, everything stops. Your heart pounds. Your grip tightens around the steering wheel. And almost instantly, a story appears. What an idiot! Some people are unbelievably selfish. People like that shouldn't be allowed to drive. A grocery store. The checkout line isn't moving. A cashier struggles to scan an item. The woman at the front sighs loudly. She folds her arms. She checks her watch. She shakes her head. Another story. She's so rude. A college classroom. Morning sunlight spills through the windows. A young man in the back row slowly lowers his head. Within moments, he's asleep. The professor notices. Several students exchange knowing smiles. Another story. He doesn't care. He's lazy. An airport terminal. A businessman hurries through the crowd. His pace is relentless. He accidentally bumps into a woman carrying coffee. The cup slips from her hands. Coffee splashes across the polished floor. Without stopping, he keeps walking. Another story. Arrogant. He thinks he's more important than everyone else. Every day, without realizing it, we become authors. Not of books, of people. We meet someone for only a few seconds and quietly begin writing the rest of their story. We call it intuition, common sense, reading people. But what if many of those stories are wrong? Imagine walking into a movie halfway through. You don't know the characters. You haven't seen the beginning. You don't know what anyone has been through. Yet after watching only a single scene, you're asked to decide who the hero is, who the villain is, who deserves your sympathy, who deserves your anger. It sounds impossible, and yet it's remarkably close to how we move through everyday life. A stranger raises their voice. Someone doesn't return your message. A coworker misses a deadline. A friend cancels dinner. Someone forgets your birthday. One moment, one observation, one tiny fragment of a life. And from that fragment, our minds create certainty. Not possibilities, not questions. Certainty. We decide who people are long before we understand why they did what they did. Most of the time, we never realize we've done it. Because the stories our minds create don't feel like stories. They feel like facts. Psychologists have spent decades studying this remarkable tendency. They gave it a name: the Fundamental Attribution Error. It's one of the most common cognitive biases ever discovered. And once you recognize it, you begin seeing it everywhere. In classrooms, boardrooms, hospitals, airports, families, politics, social media, even in the people we love most. But before we understand the psychology, we first have to understand something about ourselves. Human beings cannot tolerate empty spaces in a story. When information is missing, we don't usually wait. We fill it, automatically, effortlessly, without ever realizing we're doing it. The astonishing part isn't that we invent stories, it's how completely we believe them. Imagine you're sitting on a park bench. Across the path, a father snaps impatiently at his young daughter. She lowers her head. He points toward the car. She begins to cry. Most of us don't simply observe the moment. We interpret it. He's harsh. He's impatient. Some people shouldn't have children. Now imagine rewinding the day. Just 15 minutes. The little girl had wandered away in a crowded playground. For nearly 5 terrifying minutes, he couldn't find her. By the time he reached her, relief and fear had become one overwhelming emotion. His voice was louder than he intended. Not because he loved her less, but because he almost lost her. The scene never changed, only the story behind it. And suddenly, the father became someone entirely different. This happens more often than we realize. We witness behavior, but we almost never witness context. We see the final sentence without reading the chapter that came before it. The human brain dislikes unfinished stories. It craves certainty. It searches relentlessly for patterns, causes, and explanations. So when the truth is hidden, the mind quietly supplies one. Not out of malice, not out of arrogance, but because uncertainty feels uncomfortable. A complete story feels safer than an unanswered question. And that's where the invisible storyteller begins its work. It whispers, "He's selfish. She's careless. They're lazy." Each explanation arrives so quickly and with such confidence that we rarely stop to ask the most important question of all. What if I'm missing something? If this tendency is so common, why would the human mind evolve to make it? The answer begins with a simple reality. For most of human history, we had to make decisions quickly. Friend or stranger, safe or dangerous, trustworthy or threatening. Waiting for complete information wasn't always an option. Sometimes it wasn't even possible. So the brain became remarkably efficient. It learned to build explanations from very small amounts of evidence. Most of the time, that efficiency serves us well. It allows us to navigate an unimaginably complex world without becoming overwhelmed. But every shortcut comes with a cost. The brain is optimized for speed, not perfect accuracy. When another person's behavior surprises us, our minds instinctively search for the simplest explanation. That's just the kind of person they are. It's fast, it's satisfying, and it's often wrong. Because character is visible, circumstances usually are not. We see expressions, we don't see exhaustion. We hear sharp words, we don't hear the conversation that happened 5 minutes earlier. We notice someone arriving late. We don't notice the accident that stopped traffic. Our eyes witness behavior. Our imagination fills in the reasons. The remarkable part is how invisible that process feels. We don't experience ourselves inventing a story. We experience ourselves discovering the truth. And that's precisely what makes this bias so powerful. Imagine standing in line at a grocery store. The cashier barely looks up. No smile, no greeting, no conversation. Many of us leave believing she's rude. But perhaps she just received difficult news. Perhaps she's finishing the 10th hour of her shift. Perhaps she's wondering how she'll pay next month's rent. We'll probably never know. And that's the point. The story we invent says far more about our own need for certainty than it does about the stranger standing in front of us. The same thing happens online. A single photograph, a 15-second video, one sentence taken out of context. Within moments, thousands of complete stories begin forming. Intentions are assigned, motives are imagined, character is declared, all from a fragment. The less information we have, the more confidently we often judge. Ironically, the people we know least are sometimes the people we judge most completely. Because uncertainty is uncomfortable. Certainty feels like understanding, even when it isn't. And once a story takes hold, our minds quietly begin searching for evidence that confirms it. Everything else fades into the background. Not because we're dishonest, but because every human mind prefers a coherent story to an unfinished one. The fundamental attribution error isn't a flaw that belongs to other people. It's part of being human. Every one of us builds invisible stories every day. The goal isn't to eliminate the habit. The goal is to notice it, to create one small pause between what we observe and what we conclude. Sometimes the most powerful question we can ask is remarkably simple. What might I be missing? That single question changes everything. It transforms judgment into curiosity, certainty into humility, assumption into understanding. It reminds us that every stranger is living a life we cannot fully see. Every coworker is carrying burdens we don't know. Every family contains stories hidden behind closed doors. Every passing face is the center of a story far larger than the single moment we happen to witness. Perhaps the greatest act of wisdom isn't learning to judge people more accurately. Perhaps it's learning to judge them a little less quickly. The next time someone disappoints you, frustrates you, or leaves you wondering why they acted the way they did, remember the airport. Remember the park. Remember how easily a single missing chapter can change the meaning of the entire story. Because every life contains pages we'll never read. And sometimes, the kindest thing we can do is leave room for the chapters we cannot see. Think back to the airport. A woman dropped her coffee. A businessman kept walking. Within seconds, most of us believed we knew exactly who he was. Not because we had all the facts, but because our minds don't like unfinished stories. So they finish them automatically. Perhaps he was inconsiderate. Perhaps he was late for the most important meeting of his career. Perhaps he had just received devastating news. Perhaps he never even saw the coffee spill. The truth is, we don't know. And that's the point. Every person we pass is living inside a story we cannot see. Every impatient driver, every distracted cashier, every quiet coworker, every stranger walking past us on the sidewalk. Every face contains an invisible history. Most of it remains hidden. The fundamental attribution error isn't simply about making inaccurate judgments. It's about forgetting that every human being is more complicated than the single moment we happen to witness. The smallest glimpse is never the whole person. Imagine how different our lives might become if we replaced just one assumption each day with one question. Not what's wrong with them, but what might have happened to them. That single question creates space. Space for compassion, space for patience, space for understanding. And sometimes, that's enough to change everything. We'll still make mistakes. We'll still invent stories. We're human. But perhaps the next time certainty arrives a little too quickly, we'll recognize it. We'll pause. We'll wonder. We'll remember that every life contains chapters we haven't read. Because the people we meet are almost never just the moment we see. They're everything that came before it, and everything they'll become after we've walked away.